The samurai understood that comfort, while seductive, is the enemy of growth, strength, and true fulfillment. In a world that constantly seeks ease and convenience, their philosophy stands in stark contrast. True mastery comes not from avoiding hardship, but from embracing it. The samurai trained in harsh conditions, slept on hard surfaces, and subjected themselves to relentless discipline, not because they enjoyed suffering, but because they knew comfort weakens the mind and body. When we prioritize comfort above all else, we become soft, complacent, and unprepared for life's inevitable challenges. History's greatest warriors and thinkers recognized that comfort breeds stagnation. Musashi Miyamoto, the legendary swordsman, spent years wandering as a ronin, living in poverty, dueling to the death, and refining his skills through relentless struggle. Had he sought comfort, he would never have become the undefeated master of the sword. Similarly, the Stoic philosophers who shared much with the samurai taught that voluntary discomfort, fasting, cold exposure, or physical exertion strengthens resilience. By deliberately stepping away from comfort, we cultivate the ability to endure hardship when it arrives unexpectedly. Modern society, with its endless conveniences, has made comfort an addiction. We seek the path of least resistance: fast food instead of home-cooked meals, entertainment instead of study, scrolling instead of creating. But the samurai knew that every time we choose comfort over effort, we weaken our spirit. Consider the warrior who trains only in fair weather. When battle comes in the storm, he will falter. Likewise, if we only work when motivated, avoid difficult conversations, or shy away from challenges, we become slaves to our own weakness. The samurai embraced Mushin the mind, without mind a state of total presence and adaptability. This could only be achieved through rigorous training that pushed them beyond comfort. A soldier who panics in battle has not trained properly. A person who crumbles under stress has not conditioned their mind. Comfort robs us of the opportunity to develop Mushin, leaving us reactive rather than composed. To master any skill, whether martial arts, business, or personal relationships, we must willingly enter discomfort until it no longer controls us. One of the most dangerous illusions comfort creates is the belief that we are safe. The samurai lived with the constant awareness of death, memento mori, which sharpened their focus and discipline. In contrast, modern comforts lull us into a false sense of security, making us passive and entitled. A man who never faces adversity assumes life owes him ease. When hardship strikes, he is shattered. But the warrior who trains daily in discomfort remains unshaken, knowing struggle is part of existence. Consider the example of Yoko Yamamoto, author of Hagakure, who wrote that a samurai must meditate on death every morning so that, when the time comes, he is ready. This was not morbid fixation, but a tool for living fearlessly. How many of us avoid difficult tasks, uncomfortable truths, or necessary confrontations because we fear discomfort? The samurai's lesson is clear. Only by confronting what we fear do we become free. Even in nature, comfort leads to decay. A muscle that goes unused atrophies. A river that never meets resistance stagnates. The same is true for the human spirit. The samurai engaged in kata, rigorous, repetitive practice, until their movements became instinct. Modern psychology confirms this. Growth happens at the edge of discomfort. If you only lift weights you can easily handle, your strength will never increase. If you only speak when it's safe, your voice will never carry power. The corporate warrior of today faces a different battlefield, but the principles remain. The employee who avoids difficult projects, the entrepreneur who hesitates to take risks, the artist who fears criticism, all are held back by their attachment to comfort. Contrast this with figures like Soichiro Honda, who embrace failure and hardship, saying, "Success is 99% failure." The samurai would agree. Victory goes not to the most talented, but to the most resilient. Discomfort is also the crucible of character. The samurai followed Bushido, the way of the warrior, which demanded integrity, courage, and honor, qualities forged in adversity. A person who has never been tested cannot truly know their own strength. Consider the student who crams the night before an exam versus one who studies daily despite fatigue. The latter builds discipline that lasts a lifetime. Comfortable choices lead to a fragile existence. Disciplined struggle builds unshakable confidence. The modern world offers endless escapes from discomfort: streaming, junk food, procrastination, but each escape weakens us. The samurai had no such luxuries. Their survival depended on their ability to endure. Today, our survival may not be at stake, but our growth is. Every time we choose discomfort, waking early, exercising when tired, speaking up when it's hard, we reclaim our power. The warrior's path is not about suffering for its own sake, but about mastering the self through challenge. To live like a samurai is to reject the cult of comfort. It means seeking out resistance, not avoiding it. It means training when you're tired, working when you're uninspired, and standing firm when you're afraid. The greatest warriors, artists, and leaders throughout history understood this. Comfort is the enemy of greatness. The more you embrace struggle, the more you realize it was never your enemy. It was your teacher. The choice is yours: a life of comfort and regret, or a life of challenge and triumph. The samurai's answer is clear. Will yours be?